Good evening, and welcome to the latest edition of Randall Reads. Tonight I'd like to talk about a beguiling novel called The Woman in the Dunes by a Japanese author called Kobo Abe. The main character of the book is a school teacher called Nicky Junpai. He's fascinated with all things insect related, and one weekend he goes off into the sand dunes in search of a rare beetle. He becomes so engrossed in this search that he loses all track of time and misses the last bus home. As a result, he has to sort of seek shelter in an eerie sort of village nearby that's sort of covered with sand. He awakes in the morning to discover that he's been trapped in this little shelter abode that is underneath the sand dunes themselves, and the step ladder which would get him to safety has been removed. The villagers all crowd round and they tell him in no uncertain terms that he is now their slave, and he will be engaged in taking a shovel and battling against the ever-encroaching sand which is falling down and threatening to collapse the structure. His only companion is a sort of odd woman who's engaged in the exact same task. And as the book and story progresses, it becomes apparent that he's not only expected to battle against the sand, but to procreate with this woman and start a family down under the dunes. It's at this point that it becomes a bit more of a sort of existential novel, and Nicky Junpai becomes engaged in all sorts of activities that he finds interesting, like managing to draw water from the ground. But he soon sort of realises that his life down in the dunes may perhaps even be better than his life in as a school teacher, sort of in the real world, and he becomes sort of resigned to spending the rest of his days under the dunes with this woman. It's a really sort of compulsive read, and it's a very strange read. So if you're looking to read something different this summer, then you couldn't really go any better than The Woman in the Dunes. So that is my recommendation for this week: The Woman in the Dunes by Kobo Abe. Thank you for listening. Good evening.